Hello, guys. So today I want to talk about how you can potentially save $22,000 living outside the US. Now, obviously, you're going to have quite a few questions of how is that even possible. So let's first look at how much taxes you pay in the US based on your income level. So if you look at this graph here, if you make about $75,000, you're paying in $12,000 in taxes. And then if you make about $120,000, you're paying about 22%, $22,000 in taxes. So as your income increase, your tax rate also does increase. And again, this is based on the 2023 IRS tax numbers. So basically, there's a Foreign Earned Income Exclusion Act in the IRS tax code. So the foreign earned income exclusion basically states that if you have been living outside the US for at least 330 days of the calendar year, you can claim a tax exclusion on your foreign income up to $120,000. So let's say you were making $120,000, that amounts to a tax savings of $22,000 in savings. Now, of course, there are caveats to this. You would be liable to pay taxes in the foreign country that you're living in. However, if you're living in a country with no income taxes, for example, the UAE, where Dubai is, you are going to get a full benefit of that $22,000 that you don't have to pay the US government. So, in addition to your foreign earned income exclusion benefit, there's also a foreign housing exclusion or deduction benefit available to you. So, the way it works is basically you have to look up the city. So, the IRS has a list of different cities and their estimated cost of living. So, if you look at Dubai, since I recently moved from Dallas to Dubai, so I'm using this example. So for Dubai, the expense limit is about $57,000. Okay. And from that, you're supposed to subtract 16% of your foreign earned income. So earlier, we were referring to the foreign earned income of about $120,000. So 16% of that is about $19,200. So if you subtract that from that $57,000, you're gonna end up with $37,800, which is basically your housing tax exclusion. So if in Dubai, I was paying for housing up to $37,800, I would not be liable for any taxes on that. So the way you can think about it is I'm getting a benefit on my $120,000 of income. And let's say my company is giving me an additional housing allowance of about $38,000, I'm not liable for taxes on that. So these are like two big benefits if you're at least living in Dubai where there is no income tax. So I just want to give a quick summarized view of my personal expenses from what I experienced in Dallas to what I experienced in Dubai. So most of these categories, I would say my cost of living is not really that much different. However, I would say there are two categories that do stand out. So let's begin with housing. Again, I was living in a one-bedroom apartment in Dallas, paying about $1,700 in rent. It was about 700 square feet. And then in Dubai, I'm staying in a 850 square feet apartment, paying about $800 in rent. So very similar. Utilities are a little more expensive in Dubai because they do charge an extra tax as an expat fee, which is why you're seeing that number is much higher than Dallas. Phone and internet is kind of similar. Transportation, mostly use Uber or taxi here in Dubai. That is much cheaper than I would say in the US. And then when you talk about dining, again, you have a range of options from cheap to really fine dining. But on a very basic level, a basic meal is almost similar in price to what I experienced in Dallas. And then lastly, just from my personal experience for, let's say, dental visit, is also very similar. So overall, cost of living is not that different. I will say though, the services here are a little more cheaper because the cost of labor is much cheaper. So getting food delivery or getting cleaning services in your apartment is much cheaper in Dubai. So yeah, that's just based on my personal experience. Obviously, everybody's situation is different. So love to hear about your experiences in the comment section below. If you recently moved out to the U.S., out of the U.S., and what your experience has been in terms of tax savings and or any other sort of cost increase. All right, guys, thank you for listening, and I will see you in the next one.